Hello from Salem High School. This is our Audrey 2, and we thank you for renting it. We decided that it would be very helpful to put together a video showing you how to assemble and disassemble this, because it's going to come to you in some large pieces. But it works very well. I think you'll be happy with it for your show, and thanks again for renting it. Break a leg. Okay, so this is how the base looks. We have it standing up on end. Of course, when it's fully assembled, this whole thing will lay down. The base comes in several parts. You have the front section, two side sections. We have one removed now, so we can show you how to assemble it. And a cross piece, which also serves as the back support for the ramp for the people getting eaten by Audrey 2. So, we put it up here for ease of assembly, because what you need to do is to bolt each of these side sections on with 4 bolts here. And we'll show you how to do that now.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
All right, so we bring the other section up, just as we did with the first section. Put it into place here, aligning it with the front. Now you'll see that there are holes here for the full bolt, 4 bolts that you'll need to attach. So we'll go ahead and do that and come back to show you what comes next. Okay. All right, so now we have it assembled with both sides in place. I want to show you a couple things while we have it like this and still upright. Again, 4 bolts connect each side. And then we reattached this piece, which will come to you loose, this cross piece. We have 1 bolt. We haven't put them in yet, but then we sink a couple of screws in to make sure the connection is good, because here is where our trapdoor slide is resting. We went ahead and match marked the connections so there'd be no confusion for you when you go to assemble this. We've got the top, we've got all your connections marked. Should be clear though that your pipes here, the black pipes, are to the inside and opposing each other, and that'll be very important when we put this together. So now the base is assembled, we'll go ahead and lay it down, and we'll start to put the rest of Audrey 2 together. Okay, so you notice also that we have casters here, so that when you get this all assembled, it's fairly heavy. It'll be easy for you to move around and getting into place during intermission. So we'll go ahead and put it down, ready for the rest of the assembly. You can hold this, here's a little gap because of the casters, don't pinch your fingers. And there's the base, all assembled. This is the front. The operator will be back in the back.
Right.
So once we have the base in place, we put the trap or the ramp in place then, and it just sets down in those pockets that are hogged out. This will allow the actors being eaten by Audrey 2 to slide out and disappear out the back. So that's how that works. We don't have the piece fully tightened there, but it will be, of course, when you assemble it. Got it? Okay. All right, now we put the bottom jaw in place. Lower jaw just comes in. And for the time being, just rests here on the base. Take it that way. Just rest here. One key item, if you could see, is that this brace here at the back of the tongue needs to be in front of those black pipes. You do not want to have it back so far it cannot go behind those pipes. Keep it out front. For now, it's just going to rest here.
Okay.
All right, then we have this piece that we call the mast. This will support all of Audrey 2. So we have a good solid piece here, and it goes right into those black pipes that you already saw. Straighten it up. Drops down until it stops in place. This is where Audrey will be supported, and everything will operate from there. Okay, underneath here, at the top of Audrey's head, there is a socket. And that hitch ball that's at the top of the mast is going to support that socket. So you'll see it when we lift it up and put it in place. You won't be able to miss it. But just so you know, that's what's happening. We bring the top. You have to bring it up pretty high. There's a framework here that has to clear the mast. And once it does that, then it sets down on the hitch ball. Right there it is. Okay.
Okay.
So you can see that pocket in here that's created and allows Audrey to be supported right there by the mast. All right, so from there, what we want to do is connect the bottom jaw to the upper jaw. And so we'll need to pull it back some. We have clevises
Can move this upwards.
here and here that match these reinforced locations on the lower jaw. Right here are some quick release pins that you'll use to assemble top to bottom. Now, if you know a quick release pin, you have a button here that makes these detent balls go in and out. That should prevent it from coming back out. I will say that this is not precision machined. We didn't have a machine shop. So the fit is a little bit loose for good assembly. Each time you put these pins in, each time you move it around, you want to take a look and make sure that the pins are staying in place. But this is how the whole thing is connected. So we bring the bottom jaw back and up until that hole lines up. You might want to stop now because this is going to be a little... You see the pin engaged so that the clevis is holding the lower jaw in place. The brace is in front of the mast. There's the other pin supported by the ball, and the ramp is in place. So we're ready to go, almost. Now we have these black pipes sticking out the back. And what we did here was to add counterweights to be able to easily manipulate the lower jaw. It helps the operator to do so with much less effort. So here we go with some additional weight to make this thing move easier. So you can see that this brought the bottom jaw up. It's nice and horizontal. It counterbalances it very nicely. What we did was we just used regular weightlifting weights, slid through the center hole, and engaged them with a cap here to hold them in place, making sure that you tighten it down very tightly. You don't want it to drop on anyone, of course. In addition, we added a safety chain here to give another level of protection. Final protection, I won't go ahead and strap this on, but we added foam underneath these weights so that none of the kids coming through would be able to hit their head and harm themselves when they come through Audrey too. So that's how we do the counterweights, and that's how we manipulate the jaw. Now, the original design called for the operator to be inside here. Once we added these counterweights, we found that it was much easier actually to manipulate her from back here. So we have a structure here with a drapery that comes over, and our operator worked from here, making the mouth move and the body swivel. It's really pretty effortless. So that is probably our recommendation to you rather than going inside as originally designed. So looking at other features, now that we have this much together, if we come out front here, you see that when it's open in the mouth, you see a tongue. Well, that tongue is actually a trap door that engages the ramp. Spring-loaded, when the actor's weight is on it, it will go down. The actor will slide through this loose fabric and onto the other ramp. And then with the weight off, it comes back in place and Audrey's back together. So that is how the majority of the prop is put together and looks pretty good. Now we have one final piece that makes it complete, and we'll look at that now.
So we have the skirt at the bottom that is just fabric that's attached to the lower jaw. We just, once this whole thing is assembled, we just tuck it down in there and bring it around. Now we have these leaves that we made up. At the bottom, we have right foot and we have straps. These straps goes to the calf and then the bottom of the shoe. It's important to keep that at the bottom. If your foot goes all the way through, then the foot kind of comes out like this. But I'll show you how this works. We put this in. The kids are wearing camo. They also have a black mask that goes over their head. And then we put these straps on over their leg so that it doesn't move around as much. And we also have a hook. We hook it onto the eye socket there. Then we have other cast members helping each other out. The same thing applies here. We put the foot through, foot onto, another leg strap, keep it all in place. You could run it through the hook that they have. And this is all during intermission, so there's no rush. So the kids can get in here casually, put it on with the help of other people, obviously, because I'm having a problem. Okay, so then, again, keep in mind they're wearing camo. The kids lay this on top. They put their bottom as close to the top, but they stay close to the side because Audrey is going to be moving around as such. And we want to make sure that they're not going to get hit by it. So they stay close to the edge. They put their hand into this pocket. There is a cutout of the plastic. They put their hand in there and they simply lay down, and every time Audrey talks, they move their arms like this. And every time Audrey is angry, bigger movements.
So here's how Audrey looks in action. We only have one side operating, and remember that Michael would have a camo on, and the other side would have another person. But this is the full effect. A couple of things to remember: check your pins, and when the person is being eaten by Audrey, be sure to tell them not to grab the front of the tongue with their fingers. There's a chance they could get pinched. Keep the palms up. Okay, I'm going to go in, Sean. And then Audrey just supports you here. Try not to put weight on this. This is thin. But here's a good solid place, and the actor goes in and down.
And jump.
That's Audrey 2. It's not too bad to put together, and thanks for renting it. We hope you have a great show. I'm sure you will. Ron.
All right, here we are with the medium-sized plant. Comes with leggings, with the shreds, and foot covers to simulate the roots. And with my two guys here, they'll put this over top of my head. All right, and I'm gonna scoot forward, and I'm gonna put my feet out so you can see how this works. All right. Feed me. That's it. All right, I'm showing you here the small one that we made. Two ways to access this through the bottom. When the person is under the table, they can put their hand up through, and they also have a lever, a wire to pull to make the vines look like they're going down, they're wilting. And then in the back of the plant, we have a place where you could place your hand. And I actually had it backwards, so I'm gonna put my hand through it right now. So when Seymour comes out on stage, there's a place for you to put your finger to make the tongue work. And we have Audrey 2 plant.